Hello, it's the Cryo Lady. So I have another different interview here today. This is my other 22-year-old who has also just returned from university, in this case Bristol University. So without further ado, let's go. So you've just returned from Bristol University, but can we talk a little bit about your accommodation in the first year and where did you stay?
I stayed in Badock Hall and it was alright. It was very old-fashioned and hadn't been updated for years.
However, we do understand now that it has been renovated, don't we?
Yeah.
So it was a flat configuration, wasn't it? How many rooms were in your flat?
Like 14.
So there was 14 rooms in your flat. What were the facilities? Were the rooms en suite?
No, there were 2 toilets, but regularly one of them was flooding.
Oh no.
One of them was flooding, and one time the water just leaked across the whole bathroom, across the hallway, and like under someone's door. And it took quite a while for anyone to come and fix it, but that's okay. Like, it got sorted, but you know, it was still bad.
What about shower and bath facilities? How many bathrooms were there for that?
In the same my mouth is so dry, hold on.
Yeah, so just to excuse that bit, because she's been diagnosed with glandular fever, so picked up a few bugs whilst she was there. But anyway, so there's a couple of bathrooms, and it has to be said that it was a mixed flat, so you had to share facilities with, obviously, males and females had to share the facilities. So there was no particular bathroom that was denoted for just being female or male. It was a mix. So what about the was it up to you to clean the bathrooms, or did someone come in and do that?
I think someone came and did it. No one actually. I have no clue. I think maybe, yeah, there were cleaners sometimes.
Yeah, I remember seeing some of the cleaners. Now, Badock was where you were in Badock. It was catered, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was half board. We did have a kitchen which had a small fridge and a freezer, and a sink, and a kettle and microwave. But that was that. It was like very small though.
Yeah, I saw the kitchen. It was very, very tiny. But I mean, it did have the basic facilities, and of course you could have your own kettle and whatnot in your own room, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Which I think quite a few people would probably do. As with most student accommodations, you probably get a slight problem with pilfering.
Yeah.
A bit of milk here, a bit of milk there, maybe.
Yeah, I never experienced that. But it probably happened to someone else.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. But so, was it very noisy there? Was it quiet?
Really depends, because it was on and off, I suppose. Like, people, when they're having nights out, they were doing prees or they were coming back, they could be pretty loud. And also, I feel like Badock Hall is kind of known for having DJ sets and things like that.
I was just about to ask you, what's it known for? Be honest.
DJs, and it's like the druggie halls. That's what I heard when I first arrived, that it's the druggie halls.
Did you see any evidence of that whilst you were there?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, so, yeah. What was the catering like? What was the food like? Did you have that very much?
Yeah. Like, I mean, they did breakfast and dinner. I wasn't really awake early enough all the time for breakfast. But sometimes I'd go to dinner, like, all of my flatmates would wait in the hallway and we'd all go down at the same time. And sometimes it was okay, sometimes it was just, like, air, but it was a very big, modern, really lovely dining hall with had a grand piano in it, and it had, you know, these plants hanging from the ceiling, and it was very nicely decorated, and it was attached to the library, and yeah, it was quite nice.
So that sounds really good. So, what about shops nearby?
I think there was a co-op nearby that I went to once.
How long do you think it'd take there to walk there, maybe?
I actually have no clue. Maybe it was like 15 minutes.
So about a quarter of an hour or so.
I have no clue because me and my family has kept on stopping and doing random things, so...
So you had fun, really. You had some fun as well.
Yeah.
How far was it to the university?
You have to take the U1, and that was especially packed at 9 a.m. and there was just like no space at all. And you'd think they'd have more running, but no. It was like a 25-minute bus ride, I think, or 20 minutes.
So the actual situation of Badock, it's near the Downs, isn't it?
Yeah, it's called North Village. It's in Stoke Bishop.
So it's actually and there's lots of here in the summer, because obviously people will be starting in September, I guess.
Yeah.
So you know it'll still be quite hot, and there's plenty of open spaces as well, isn't there, where you can lounge about if you want to.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really leafy green area compared to the other accommodation in like the more central accommodations.
Yeah, because this is actually it is in a very, very nice area, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's like very suburban.
Okay. Well, what we'll do is perhaps in another when we talk about sort of accommodations and things again, maybe we'll talk about the ups and downs of private renting, and perhaps talk a little bit more about Badock, things like that, and also we'll talk a little bit more about Bristol University itself, the University of Bristol. I will say that Bristol is one of the top universities in the country. Snow's twin, went to the University of Bath. They're both top universities. They're both research universities. Bristol has a medical school. I think it has a dentistry as well. Dentistry, and also it has a veterinary college, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll just... Thank you very much. Thank you very much.